So, are you tired of dating heartbreak? If you can learn how to spot red flags early, then you can prevent heartbreak. So, what are red flags in dating and how do we identify them? A red flag is something that just comes off as like a little off. You're not sure like why you feel that way, but it's just something that you kind of keep in the back of your head. And you may not think that it's connected to anything, but then later you recognize that it is. It's important that you try to pay attention to these signs just because that can save you weeks, months, years in heartache. Nobody's perfect, so there might be like little things that are like off to you, but just try to talk to the person about it or just put like a bookmark on it until maybe something else weird happens, you know? Like I was dating this guy one time. I'm not gonna say I was perfect in the relationship, but I'll just say that they said something along the lines of kind of saying they'd be okay with an open relationship in a way. And, I bookmarked it. And then later when I like found some things, then I realized like, oh, that was connected. It was a red flag. Or another red flag was the guy that I was dating. He wasn't very respectful to his mother, right? So depending on how someone treats like the close people in their family, that's like a telltale sign of how they may potentially treat you. I recognized that I wasn't always respected by this person, and it was based on how they treated the other people in their life. If you ignore red flags in someone because you're just so mesmerized by their looks or your chemistry or your compatibility or whatever, then you're only setting yourself up for failure because you're going to be wasting your time in the long run when like things just keep adding up. It's okay to like just bookmark maybe like the first one or two, but like if you try to talk to them and it doesn't reassure you, or if they keep doing weird, you got to cut them off. It just is like a recipe for disaster, and you're throwing salt on the fire if you keep dealing with like that type of relationship. So like if you're getting mixed messages, try to just pay attention to those like subtle signals that something's just off. If someone is like sending you mixed signals, like one day they're in love with you, the next day they're like ignoring you, or if they're not willing to like define the relationship, then that's a red flag and you don't need to date them. Or like if you want to get married one day and this person doesn't want to get married one day and they flat out tell you that, believe them. You are not going to be able to change anybody's mind. People will change their mind on their own. And also that's just kind of like manipulative if you come into something thinking that you're just going to be able to change their mind. And when you're not able to, you're like going to be heartbroken. You're going to feel like you wasted so much time when you could have just paid attention in the beginning. So how do you respond when you see a red flag? You should set boundaries and just try to have like an open conversation with your partner. How your partner responds to you should provide relief, not, have you questioning even more. And don't just like be so gullible, but also don't, it's like a thin line between like not being too naive and also not just like being too distrusting. Like take your past with the person into consideration, not the past with other people. In relationships, you have to be willing to be vulnerable and you have to be willing to have those tough conversations. But you have to kind of do that in all relationships because that's how they improve and get better and maintain the trust. So next, it's important to have effective communication when you're dealing with like potential red flags. It's okay to like talk to somebody about how you're feeling, but it's not okay to like come forth like accusatory. You don't want to like say too much of you. People, if you say you too much to someone, then people begin to feel like you're attacking them. And when someone feels like that, they're less likely to open up or they come back at you defensive or they even shut down. So it's important to like say it in a way that's like calm, but not too accusatory. Just like kind of ask them about it. And like, if you come like real chill, like, and they turn up on you, they may, be guilty of something, or they may not deal with confrontation well, or It may not just be for you. Sometimes people just don't mesh, but it's important to exit early if you notice like the person isn't being like fully open and honest with you, or not really willing to be vulnerable and open up when you're just trying to like get some understanding for yourself. That's how you avoid like the situationships. It's just like trying to get understanding early. So next, you really want to focus on your own healing, learning, and moving forward. So this just means that you don't want to take past relationships and let them affect your future relationships, because if you do that, then it's kind of like you're making the person feel like they're guilty of something when they've done nothing wrong. It's like they have to redeem themselves when they haven't done anything. You'll have stronger and more fulfilling relationships when you move past your own hurt and your own trauma. So that's all that I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please join my email list. The link is in the description. I'm going to be having some tips and exclusives coming out that I would love for you to be a part of. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Bye.